Greetings, beloved ones. I Luminos, the bright one. This is part of a series of classes that I'll be offering as part of Operation Reveille, my quest to educate those who are living on this planet today, those who are willing to listen, those who are ready to wake up about the reality that we live in, reality of life, humanity, who we are, why we're here, where we're going, and why it's important to know. Okay? Why it is very, very important to know. And above all, why it is important to listen to the awakening call that at this time has been placed before us all. This class is offered freely. So the requirement is that you listen. Okay, listen because it's very, very important. Okay, matter is very, very important, and it is a matter of life and death. So it's very, very important that we pay attention. Okay, it's part of a series of classes that we're offering here through our channel, in order to educate all of you at this time and dismantle the web of lies that at this time is threatening the very core of the planet upon which we exist. Okay? When it comes to life, okay, that which gives us the ability to exist, when it comes to it, there's nothing more important when it comes to life. There's nothing more important than living it as it is supposed to. Okay? When it comes to life. There's nothing in this planet, on this planet, more important than living life as it is supposed to be lived. Okay? And no government, no religion, no power, anywhere can interfere with that. This class that I'm offering at this time is designed to elevate our thinking and illuminate the concepts of life itself, the planet upon which we exist, the reality that we live in. So those of us who are walking this planet can understand it. Okay, can understand it. And align with the way life is supposed to be lived. The way the power that created life intended it to be. Okay. When it comes to this reality, there is no power or authority that is above that fact, that truth. There is no power on this planet that is above that truth. Before we proceed, a little bit of magic. Okay? I'm going to perform a little bit of magic to enhance this class we're in, enhance the mood, and to calibrate this space, this interaction, this communication, to harmonize this communication so you may receive it. You may receive it properly. Now, what you see here is a magic wand. So those of you who are afraid of magic, time to run. Right. What you see here is what I call a tuning fork. Okay, a tuning fork. And this tuning fork is fine-tuned, calibrated to the frequency of 528 hertz. 528 hertz. Okay, 528 hertz. This frequency, the frequency of harmony. Okay, music, the frequency that harmonizes energy and allows information to be transmitted properly. That is what 528 frequency does. It has many other qualities and benefits and effects, but for this class, what we're going to be focusing on, the part of this frequency that deals with harmony, harmonizes energy. The class or the information I'm about to project, that I'm about to give you, that I'm about to offer you, that I'm about to give you now, the education that I'm about to offer you now, or the class I'm about to give, contains information that is very, very important that every single human being who listens to this information has to take very, very seriously. Okay? Take very, very seriously. This magic I'm about to perform is part of a magic to allow the information that is being given to be received and respected through a harmonic interaction. Harmonic interaction. To harmonize whoever it is who's listening to this information at this time, to harmonize you so that your energy can receive this information peacefully and properly. Okay? Properly, peacefully, properly, without distortions. Because in any communication, at any time, what causes miscommunication whenever interactions or whenever information is passed is distortions, lack of harmony. one of the most powerful influences on the communication is a harmony, 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 harmony. How harmonic the two, how harmonic the bodies between which, the minds between which the information is being passed are. Okay, so 528 hertz harmonizes energy, and the magic I'm about to perform is to harmonize this space, harmonize this class, harmonize this interaction, so you may hear me properly without distortions. For the best effects, if you're in an energetically distorted place or in an energetically polluted space, I suggest you align with a space that is more in harmony. Say a space in nature. If you're in a home, and you have a backyard, I suggest you move into the backyard, a place that is more quiet and more peaceful. If you are listening to this at this time and you really want to hear what I have to say or what this class is about, okay, like I said, this class is so important. I don't think anything you've ever heard anywhere at any time is as important as the information you're about to hear today. So, you listen carefully. If you're in a space that is energetically polluted, that is loud and noisy, I suggest you pause. If you can't wait, and if that is the only time you have to listen, then so be it. You can listen, but make time to listen to it again at another time in a more quiet, peaceful, serene environment, because it is in that environment that I'm recording this information in that type of environment, in a very, very serene, harmonic environment, tranquil environment, minus a few airplanes acting a fool in the sky. Being in a harmonic space will allow you to receive this information properly, okay? If you're in a space that is out of harmony with the environment that I'm recording this information in, then you might miss some of the information that you're supposed to have. You might miss the point. You might not even hear me. So try and align yourself with a vibrational match. And to help with that, this frequency, when transmitted, harmonizes wherever it touches. So what I am going to do is, like I said, I'm going to perform a magic with this magic wand here. With this magic wand here, information transmission is transmitted through energy, and the more harmonious the energy is, the transmission is, the better the information that is being passed is received. Okay, so that is the magic that I'm about to perform to harmonize the energy within this space, this transmission, so you may hear me. Copies? With a 528 hertz tuning fork, magic wand. So, like I said, at this point, if you are listening and you really want to receive this message, I would like you to sit in a more relaxed manner, in a relaxed posture. Okay, sit in a relaxed posture or lie down in a relaxed posture and attempt to relax if you can. If you cannot, then so be it. But if you can, attempt to relax. Okay? And observe. Observe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into the energy of my space with the vibration of 528 hertz. And if you're listening to me, or if you're listening to me now and you're watching me, that transmission or that activation will transfer as well. 528 hertz. Those of you who don't know what it is and would like to look it up, you can look it up. There's a lot of information about it. There's a lot of scientific information about it, about what 528 hertz does, what it does, what it is, and what it does, so you can understand, right? If you feel inclined to learn more about the 528 hertz, you can look it up. You can Google it, you can YouTube it. There's a lot of information out there about it. Scientific information, scientific and not scientific, non-scientific, spiritual, metaphysical. A lot of information about it. Okay, the world that we live in is vibrational, and sound has a very, very powerful effect on this vibration. So my intention here is to activate the 528 hertz sound in this transmission to harmonize me and you so you can hear me properly. Capiche? So that's it. We proceed. All right. So now, now that we are both harmonized, we can proceed. So the subject that I'm about to discuss today, or the topic that I'm about to discuss today, is a topic that I'm taking from my book, Illumination, The Voice of the Truth. Available on all major online retail stores now. If you want to support my work, if you want to know more, you can go grab a copy and read it. Okay, Illumination, The Voice of the Truth. The voice of the truth, the importance of the truth. At this time, doing the truth is more important than ever, than it has ever been in our history, the history of humanity. The truth of the reality that we are in now is more important than it has ever been in the history of humanity, and it is important for those of you out there who care about this reality that we live in, this life that you're living, to understand. Okay. This first class is about the true nature of light. The true nature of light. Okay. The truth about what light is, the truth about who we are, the truth about what life is, the truth about what the planet is, the truth about who God is, the truth about who Allah is, the truth about what Islam is, or truth about what Christianity is, the truth about what this reality we live in, what has become, is more important than it has ever been in the history of humanity. And here's why. Here's why. The world as it is now and what it is today is a product of a bunch of lies that have been woven over and over and over and over itself for almost 2,000 years now. Okay? We're talking about 2,000-year-old lies that have been rewoven and rewoven and rewoven and forced down humanity's throat, literally. That is the product of what we are today. The product of lies that literally have been grabbed, smashed together, crumpled up, and forced down humanity's throat. Okay? That is what has brought us to where we are today. And what it would take in order to repair the mess we are in and to restore some sanity and eventually some peace is restoring the truth. In order to restore the truth, you have to know what the truth is. Okay? If you don't know what the truth is, you can never restore it. And that's what this book is about. That's what this book addresses, the truth. So we can restore it. Okay? Logically, intelligently, wisely, using common sense. Common sense. Now, the first class I'm about to give is about light, about what light is, because it is very, very important to know that the most vital piece of our existence is light. Okay, light is the power that gives us life to exist. Okay, light is what gives life to exist. And if you're living, if you're alive, you have to know what light is. You have to know what light is. What I've come to understand throughout my own personal journey is most people have no clue what light is. Have no clue. Most human beings walking this planet today have no clue what light is. Whilst an even greater percentage ignore light completely and take light to be some insignificant thing that can be, that just allows them to see, and that's it. You know, when nighttime comes, we turn the lights on so we can see, and that's it. Nothing more to it. Okay. Now, if you're one of these people, you need to understand that you're lost. Okay, you're lost. You're completely lost, and you're wrong. Okay, you're wrong. You're playing with fire, literally. If you are living this life, if you're living in this reality at this time, you're living life and you don't know what light is, you have to know that you're lost. Okay, one. If you're living this life on this planet today and you don't know what light really is, you're a slave. Okay? No matter what anybody says. If you're living on this planet today and you don't know what light really is, you're sick. If you're living on this planet today and you don't know what light really is, you're living a lie. If you're living on this planet today and you don't know what light really is, at this time, that means you're living in darkness. If you know what light is. And if all of these apply to you, or any of them apply to you, guess what? You're part of the problem. You're why the world is what it is today. Okay? And the work required in order to restore this world to where it needs to be begins with you being educated. Okay, being educated about all these things that you are living in violation of. So you may understand, and then align yourself accordingly so we can fix what needs to be fixed, because those who are here and trying to help to fix this reality cannot do much as long as most human beings are living in darkness. That is, if you don't know what light is. Okay? If you don't know what light is, guess what? You don't know what life is. And if you don't know what life is, guess what? You're lost. And if you're lost, you are the problem. No matter what anybody says. I've walked this path, spirituality, for a while. Excuse me. And during my quest, I've done everything I can to teach people I meet, to bring the truth to people. And I keep recognizing all over the place, time after time, that people reject the truth. People hate the truth. People don't want to hear the truth. Okay? And then they go out there and cause a bunch of nonsense, which at this time is killing people everywhere. Those who don't want to hear the truth, those who don't respect the truth, are the ones who are behind all the mess we're seeing in this reality at this time. They're the one behind every crime, every violence, okay? Every corruption, every hate, every lie. These people. So, in my quest to produce a solution on the table, I'm going to educate all of you so you understand, beginning with these classes I'll be offering every week. Alignment with everything else that I'm working on. If you live on this planet at this time, if you're living on this planet at this time, you have to know what light is, okay, and respect it accordingly. You have to know what light is. You have to know what life is. If you don't know what light is, you don't know what life is. And that means you're living in darkness. If you're living in darkness and darkness rules you, if darkness rules you, you are the enemy. And you need to understand that. My book addresses all these things and more. So if you can, grab a copy. Okay? The textbook for this course we are in. So you can understand, so we can read along and learn together. This book was written as an inspiration download from the light, straight from the light, personified. And the message that is in this book, okay, the message that this book brings is what light really is, what life really is, what the reality that we live in really is. Outside of all the cultural conditioning and manipulation and distortion that everybody out there is swallowing and using it to hurt each other. Okay? The first chapter of this book is what we are going to discuss today. The first chapter, which is light. Okay? First chapter. So, I am going to begin by first reciting the poem that opens this chapter. Okay? I am the light. I am the light, the moon and the stars, rising ever higher, my true self soars. I am the dawn, a glorious new beginning, all knowing my one eye is seeing. I am the sky, a falcon soaring high. From the beauty of a blue horizon, from within I am arisen. The phoenix, the infinite fire, the brightest star in the sky. So, that is the first chapter, the truth about light, about what light really is. Now, those of you who have the book, you can read it and then we can move along. But to begin, I'm going to just share a little bit so that I don't have to go through the chapter, the whole chapter word by word. For those of you who have the book, go get it and read it. Those of you who can get the book, those who have the book, read it with me. I mean, read it so you can understand. Those of you who don't have it, go get it. Okay? Now, the sun, whose true title is source light, the bright one, light who shines for the whole world, a star made of living light energy, whose radiance in our sky brings daylight. Okay? It's a lot more than just a star in our sky, just sitting there for people to enjoy their time on the beaches, go out and party or shop, hang out, go to work. It's a lot more than that. Okay? This light that shines from the sky and gives us life is the reason why we have oxygen in this reality. When you breathe, the oxygen that comes out is a product of light. Elements of oxygen itself is a product of a reaction that occurs within our atmosphere when hydrogen, which comes from the the light we call the sun, okay, source light, collide with specific elements within the atmosphere. From water. Oxygen is created from water. Those of you who don't know what it is. And then vice versa. Water is created from a combination of hydrogen and oxygen. And it is a cycle between hydrogen and oxygen that coordinate to produce air or oxygen for us to breathe. It's a cycle within the hydrogen and within the water cycles, within this reality, that helps produce oxygen. Okay. That power, without the light that comes from the star, or the energy that comes from the star we call the sun, source light, soul, oxygen will cease. Okay? Oxygen will disappear. Water will disappear. And everything that exists depends on oxygen will die. The planet itself will die without oxygen and water. It is important to understand that what the star we call the sun is doing for us cannot be taken lightly or for granted. And that's part of what we need to understand what light is. Okay? All other lights on this planet are man-made. Candles, flashlights, torchlights, electrical lights, all man-made. The reality that we are living now, in order for it to be repaired and restored, and people to understand the need to heal and receive the healing that is here and allow themselves to be healed, the truth must first be known. Okay, and that truth begins with understanding certain components of our reality. The first part of that component is understanding what light is. Most people have no clue what light is. A lot of people assume that anything that shines is light, but that's not so. Not everything that shines is light. Okay? Now, we may assign a name to it, but of all the things that shines, the natural ones, the ones that shine without human input, have a very, very unique place in our life that we all need to understand. Light is the essence that illuminates things. Okay, illuminates things, illuminates our environment, allows us to see in the dark. Those of you who are human need light to see. Those of you who are not, who are nocturnal, do not. But even your light, your eye still has to process a certain degree of light in the darkness for you to be able to see. Those who are nocturnal, you still need light to see. So when we take light out of everything that exists in our reality, okay, we isolate it, we find out that light is made of a lot of components, a lot of things that are associated with light, true light, that most of us don't see, and a lot of us need to understand. When you sit under the light we call the sun at a specific hour of the day, you can feel something touching you. When you sit and your vibration is in a certain space, excuse me, when your vibration in a certain level, when you are vibrationally balanced or harmonized, and you sit in front of the light that we call the sun, source light, rising in front of you at specific angles throughout the day, you can actually feel a physical sensation on your skin, almost like something touching you, just like the wind. You can feel it. Okay? This light that we call the sun produces major things. Vitamin D is one of them that affects us. Okay, affects us. That thing that shines to give this reality we live in the power and ability to exist is more important than anything else in our lives. Anything else. And we need to understand that most people don't. And how we treat that thing that gives us life and ability to exist, how we interact with that thing is very, very important. It affects our health. Okay, it affects our health as well. Okay, so that power that gives us the ability to exist has a very, very important relationship to us that we all need to understand. But in order to know that, we have to know what light is, and we have to be able to discern the false light from the true light. Okay, within our reality, what we identify as light isn't the same everywhere. Okay, there is false light and there is true light, and I'm gonna illuminate that for you to understand, so you can align yourself accordingly. Okay, there are many forms of false light out there. Now, here is the difference. Okay, a true light is a light that is solid nature, comes from nature, and has no human or other intelligent interference or input. It has no human or other intelligent input. Okay, that light, there's only one in this reality. There's only one. That's source light. So that's the only true light in this reality. All other lights are false lights. Torchlight, flashlights, candle lights are all false lights. Now, of all these lights, the one that is closest that can be matched to this light we call the sun source light is the candle light, which when lit, because even though it has human input, it's able to sustain fire. And when that fire is sustained, it is now operating as a natural entity that anything else that cannot assume a natural essence is a false light, complete false light. So all forms of lights that require human input are false lights, with the exception of candle lights. Okay, fire, which is natural, which assumes a natural state and can be purified, but can still be manipulated by human beings. Okay, the only pure light is the one that cannot be manipulated by human beings, which is source light. Okay, the one that shines from above and gives us all light the ability to exist. Right. So when we relate to this light, we have to relate to this light as this light really is, with the full respect that it deserves. When we relate to this light in any other way, like disrespecting, like most people do, then what it does is that it causes bad vibe between the energy. Okay, when you look at the light that is giving you the ability to exist as an insignificant part of a reality, you are degrading or distorting the relationship or the connection that you have with this light. You're causing a negative vibe between you and the source light. When you do that, over time, the negative vibe that you created develops into a character, develops into your character, and makes you a miserable person. And in the long run, turns some of you into monsters. So, in order for you to become a positive person or to live a positive life, you have to repair the relationship between you and the light that is given you the ability to exist. In order for you to do that, you have to know what that light is. You have to really understand what that light is. And like I said, I explain it in this book, Illumination, the Voice of the Truth. So go learn, go grab a copy so you can read it and you can learn. This is only to allow you to repair your relationship between with the light we call the sun, the one that gives you the ability to exist above any religion. When it comes to that reality, that connection between you and the light that gives you the ability to exist, there's no government, no God, no religion that has power over that. That truth is above any religion. And any religion that refuses that attempts to degrade that is an enemy of humanity. And you need to understand that. Okay? If you, at this point in your reality, you have to understand that. Okay? You have to understand that. The life that you are living now is a product of solar energy, solar light. Okay? And for you to respect it fully, you have to know what that solar light is. Okay? And for you to live it fully, you have to respect it. To respect that relationship that you have with the solar light. And you can't disrespect that solar light for any reason. No matter who you are, what you are, no matter how dark you are. Because without this reality, without this power we call light, you cannot exist. And you need to understand that without this light, you can't exist. Even beyond the physical flesh, you still need this light in order to exist. It's this light that sustains you beyond the physical. So, moving forward, every single human being on this planet who's enjoying life must be educated. But what that thing that is giving them the ability to exist really is. Understand? There are a lot of concepts of light out there, and at this point, I'm going to move to address the false lights that are out there. The false lights operate as products of darkness, and they operate through the intention of imitation. They operate to imitate light and to discharge their own influence or to project their own influence on people. Most of the time for selfish needs and selfish reasons. I'm not saying all of them do that, but most of them operate for selfish reasons. Okay. Emblem or the biggest body of this false light is the moon. The moon, if you know, does not have its own light. What it does is that it reflects light from source light and at a specific time of its cycle through the sky and projects that light. Now, That light that the moon produces is not the moon's own light, but a reflection. And it is a false light. It is of all the false lights out there, it is the biggest one. And those who are operating or operate under the power influence of this light projects the false light and express through the false light. Most of them project and express themselves through the false light, that is through deception. And a lot of times it is these people who, through this reality, operate to dismantle the truth within our system. So the ability to exist, to live, is highly dependent on light, on what light is, especially source light. Very important to know the connection, to know what this light is. Okay? So we can relate to this light. So we can fix our relationship with this light properly, because at this time, most human beings don't respect this light. As a matter of fact, most human beings oppose this light, especially people who are my skin color, who are supposed to be closest to this light. Okay? Those who are closest to this light. So my intention here is to bring that awareness, okay? Bring that awareness into the dialogue of repairing the relationship that we have with this light. And for us to repair that relationship, we have to know, okay, we have to know what the light is. Right now, most people don't, okay? And that's unacceptable, okay? So we have to fix that. And then we have to repair our relationship, okay? We have to fix that and realign ourselves, our beliefs, our thinking, our behaviors, attitudes accordingly. Understand that? Okay. So the false light is that which comes to distort reality, which comes to conceal the truth and to manipulate. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them. Okay. And those who embody that essence always operate through deception, operate through darkness. Okay. It is through them that darkness is able to express itself. Very few are able to resist that fact and align themselves with the truth, but the great majority of them are unable to do so because it's not in their nature. They can't. It's like fish that is swimming in the desert. They can't do it. It's like fish in the desert. They can't. They operate through deception. They operate through manipulation. They operate through darkness. Those who align with the false light, which is the energy of the night, the moon, lunar essence, through this reality. They're the ones who have embodied that. So it's very important to understand that in order for you to be able to conceive reality, you have to be in the full light, just as daylight, so you can see properly. Okay? When you are in the light, that is when you know what light is and you embody that. That is the time that you're able to express your truth the most. When you're in the dark, that is when you are of the lunar essence, dark essence, you are not able and capable, fully capable of expressing your truth the most, because that is not what that energy represents. The only energy that is associated with the truth is light, that is source light. And when we become aligned with that energy, that's when we are able to express our truth, our light, our essence the most. Those who are not of this light cannot express any light because they don't have it. Understand that? They don't. So this light came into being at a time that some claim to be 5 billion years ago. But actually, it's more than that, because we don't have the capacity to measure beyond that at this time. This light that we call the sun has been here for billions of years, and that's the right term to use. Billions of years. We just don't know how many billion yet exactly, but billions of years. Human beings, out of these billions of years that this light has been here, have only been here for about 4 or 5 million years. Okay? And we have to understand the difference. You have to understand the difference and who is who in this dynamic. Who is above and who is below in this dynamic. Who knows more and who knows less in this dynamic. So the light that governs our existence has an essence that has to be understood. Like I said, I expressed that in my book, You Need to Learn It. And that essence is very, very important. It's a very, very important piece of our existence, of our reality. And it is within that essence that the truth of who we are is coded. And without embodying that, we can't express our truth. Without knowing that, we can't embody it. So we have to do the work. Okay, we have to do a lot of work. My quest is to educate and teach and help and guide as much as possible. Okay, but for now, the beginning of the work is to show you or to teach you, to educate you about what light really is. Okay, and light is more than an essence that gives light for people to see. It's also the very component that gives us the ability to exist, the very power that gives us the ability to exist, that gives life the ability to exist, that gives oxygen and water the ability to exist, oxygen the ability to exist, the trees the ability to exist. Okay, that part has to be known. That part has to be known. Okay, and where the light does not exist, darkness rules, and where darkness rules, guess what? Foolishness dominates. People are chaotic. And part of the reason why this world is what it is today is because the number of people who are disconnected from light, the truth, and are embodying or aligning themselves with the false light, the false systems that are distorting their reality and then using them to feed itself while people suffer. So we have to understand that part of the work that is needed in order to make this world better is understanding what light is and how light influences us and how we benefit from light, what relationship we have with light, how to embody that relationship, respect that, how to treat that relationship, okay? How to treat that relationship, and how to express ourselves, how to live our lives as we're supposed to. So that's what this is. That's what this is. So moving forward, I have a lot to give. I'll be giving as many as I can every week. I'll pick a topic, I'll pick a chapter, and then we can go through it. Okay. This part of this work is to educate. Like I said, to educate. So we understand and then align accordingly. Okay, to have a heart to heart. Okay, not to stand and scream at the top of my lungs. To educate us about the principal pillars or the basic pillars, the main pillars of our reality, the main pillars of our existence. Beginning with light, with what light is, and how important light is in our lives, and how to align with that essence and how to embody our own light. Okay? That's what this class is about. With that said, if you have any questions, reach out to me and I'll help you accordingly. Okay, peace. Just I leave you with peace, love, and light, and I look forward to illumination soon. One love.